Welcome back to Love Out of Chaos with the Valentines. I'm Patrick Valentine. This is
Zachary Valentine.
And I'm Linda, Mama Valentine.
Whoa. You ready for episode 2, bro?
Yeah.
Episode 2. We got some fun things happening. We got some deep conversations that's going to be happening today. It's going to be fantastic. Zach, how are you feeling after episode 1?
Yeah.
You feeling great?
Yeah.
You look great.
Yeah.
I think you look fantastic.
We're happy. We're happy people.
The people?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we don't have people today. You know, we don't have a guest yet. We got to get on that, huh?
I believe.
Always slay. Gotta always slay up in here in this podcast.
Yeah, Mom.
I'm excited.
Let me see always slay, Mom.
Always slay.
No, I should did.
Is that what you taught me? Always slay.
That's what our cousin teaches us? Yeah, that's what our cousin teaches us. Always slay. Let me see chef's kiss. Fantastic. I think that was a perfect intro. I ain't gonna lie.
Well, here we are, episode 2.
So today, we're going to take it back a bit from the very, very beginning. And you can't have that conversation without knowing Zach's birth story. So from your perspective, Mom, what was it like?
First, where's the tissue box? Just probably what any mom would be experiencing at the time, knowing that, you know, that due date is just around the corner. Mm-hmm. And I remember for Zachary, he was a scheduled C-section. He was scheduled 2 days prior to his due date. I remember even my doctor at the time, he was trying to schedule me in because he was going on vacation to Egypt. This is how detailed things are. Okay. I remember this. And I was his last scheduled C-section for the day.
Oh, wow.
I remember clearly just waiting, right? Just waiting to be prepped, my room, everything just being prepped. And after Zachary was born, you know, they brought him to me just like they brought you to me. And that initial moment, I looked and I knew. Like, I just knew. And it's that moment that, you know, I remember with you seeing, I was like, oh, he has my nose, right? Mm-hmm. And because I think we naturally look for those features that look like either me or family members and I remember that was one of the first things that I saw. I said, he has Down syndrome. So it caught me completely just off guard. And
so you didn't know beforehand, before he was born, that he was going to have Down syndrome?
No, I did not. My pregnancy was very different from you, but I had no prior testing, no nothing. And I thank God that I didn't have any of that testing or know beforehand. And I'm also very thankful that it was a scheduled C-section. I think knowing now and looking back, realizing that just maybe having a normal delivery might have put a lot of unnecessary stress on the delivery for him. And yeah, no, I didn't know.
So walk me through it. You obviously didn't know. Here it is, your second child being born into this beautiful world. And then it's like, oh, wow, kind of looks like he has Down syndrome.
No, I knew.
You knew.
I knew. My heart knew.
You knew right away.
I just knew.
Okay.
There was, at that given moment, I just knew. There was no even debate. There was no, I wonder if. I knew.
So what happened after that?
So they take us to his room. His scores were high. Everyone in the room was just saying, he's doing great. He's wonderful. He looks good. His scores, they're taking all his vitals and everything looked good. And I'm waiting while I'm there, right, on the operating table. I'm there waiting for someone to say what I saw. And nothing. There's nothing. When I look back, I don't know why I didn't speak up or say something or even ask the doctors at that point. I just remember thinking, why isn't anyone saying anything? Probably because I was drugged up, probably. That might be why.
Making all those painkillers,
Right? I mean, that's probably why, but
anesthesia still wearing off a bit.
not even wearing off. I'm still cut open there on the table.
wow.
So it's just all very immediate. It's happening really fast. And I'm waiting and nothing. And I'm waiting. All I'm hearing are good things. I hear him cry. They bring him to me. And I'm still waiting. Nothing. So finally we get to our room. He's in the room with me. And family, my mom, my sister come in. Your dad comes in. And I'm thinking to myself, how come no one's saying anything? And it's quiet, but you can see in everyone's face that there's some sort of concern.
Like it was a kind of known, but no one said anything.
I don't know if they knew. I think they felt that something was different for them.
Yeah.
And until I had that moment and I started asking my mom, do you see anything? Because then that's when the doubt started coming in. Because I did not hear anything from anyone, from all the professionals, from family. And at that point, that's when I'm starting thinking, okay, maybe I'm seeing things. Maybe. It was all the maybes.
Yeah.
But I knew in their face. And I remember my mom saying, well, Mija, what is that you see? And I said, Mom, he just is different. So there was no definition to his body. There was really no definition. His arms were just completely I don't even know how to explain, but very blob-like. His limbs and everything. There was just no definition to anything from his neck. And he's a baby. But I remember that one of those first impressions. And that was one of the things I brought up to my mom. I said, Mom, because she looked at me and I don't know if she wanted to say anything. I don't know what the story, I've never really talked about the full story, but you can tell there was some sort of concern. And I think it was equally in my sister's face. And then I told her, I said, he looks like he has Down syndrome. And I think, family immediately want to say everything's okay, right? That's always your initial, everything's fine, everything's good. What are the doctors saying? They're not saying anything.
Yeah, because you don't want to put more worry on the mother than everything you just experienced, right? You literally just got cut open, and it's this beautiful thing of bringing a child into the world, right? And so I think it's very common.
All the anticipation of, waiting for him to be born and the excitement. And then you're faced with all these unknowns. And then I was waiting to talk to a nurse. I had asked the nurse if I can see my doctor, and they had told me immediately that I was the last one. He's gone. He's off to Egypt.
He's like, I got a vacation to go to. I'm out.
Yeah, he really
was. Open,
was.
baby's there. I'm out.
And I asked the nurse that to speak to whoever was on call or in the, at the hospital, who was there to assist me. And so I waited for a little bit. The chief of pediatrics comes in. So this is where the story gets really this is, for me, one of the moments that I realized, don't doubt what you feel. Don't
doubt that intuition.
Don't.
Yeah.
Chief of pediatrics comes in and just says, I hear you have a concern. And I immediately just told him, I said, he looks like he has Down syndrome. And he looked at me and he said, why would you say that? More doubt starts coming in. I said, well, I see it in his face. I just see it in his eyes. I see it in his mouth. I do. I see there's Down syndrome. So he went over many characteristics, that textbook characteristics that he would know and explain to me, of all the things, all the reasons why he does not have Down syndrome.
So
the
he was
neck.
essentially saying how wrong you were.
Yes, textbook how wrong I was. And even question, what experience do you have with anybody with Down syndrome? And I thought, wow, that's really interesting. Why? I mean, do I have to have any experience, right? I mean, he was a baby. So I think that last moment where I just sort of just gave up is that Zachary latched on. So I nursed him. Mm-hmm. And one of the things he asked me, is your baby nursing? I said, yes, he's nursing. He's like, well, baby with Down syndrome, don't nurse, can't latch on because of their low muscle tone.
So it's already a perception of what Zach couldn't do already because of like whether he does or doesn't have Down syndrome is what the conversation, right? It's like people with Down syndrome can't do this, therefore he's doing this, therefore he doesn't have Down syndrome. So it's already that negative perception towards people with Down syndrome.
Right. And right before he left, he just said, you know, I have years of experience. He went through all his credentials telling me, you know, this is what he does for a living. And he's got the expert certificate to tell me that, no, he doesn't have Down syndrome. And at that moment, I just put it to rest.
That must have felt so invalidating in everything because you have this gut feeling, you see your baby and you know, you said it right, in your heart, you know.
Yes, I don't think I think about it about being validated. I think it's that feeling of that often happens either to many moms or just anyone, that you almost feel like you're going crazy. There's this feeling of, okay, I'm not sane enough. And that could be anything in your life, right? That you're in a place that you just feel there's doubt when you know, right? I'm going insane. I don't have the mental stability or, you know, and of course I'm still in the hospital. These are all circumstances that make you feel not sane.
Yeah.
It really does, because you're not in your element, you're trying to recover. So all the emotions, you're completely in a state of trying to deal with the emotions that are come with just having a baby. And now you're in a situation of the unknowns. So just a feeling of you're just not mentally there and well. But at that moment, that was the moment I just let it go.
Yeah.
And I was thankful at that time that, you know, family was there to sort of just provide some of that support, even though they didn't know what to do. Them being there played a big role at that moment.
Just being present.
Mm-hmm.
Right, because we often don't know what to say or do all the time in a lot of situations, but showing up for loved ones is incredible, right? It's great. So what happened next?
So by that time, they come back, and it's a little later during the evening because Zachary was in the room with me the entire time until they came and took them because they wanted to do a little more vital signs and whatever's typical, right? I wasn't there. I just remember asking, I believe it was your dad, stay with the baby. It was always, even with you, it's just like, just stay with the baby. And by the time the evening came, I remember them telling me, we're going to take him for the night and we'll bring him to you for his next feeding. So, and this was late in the night. And then I remember waking up. It was already about 7, and they were supposed to bring him to me right about between that 5 and 6 o'clock in the morning. And they didn't wake me up, and I was concerned. And so I called for a nurse. It sounded very much they were waiting for me to wake up and ask, because everybody knew. And I just remember over the phone them saying, we're going to have doctor come in and talk to you. And I was like, oh my goodness.
So what's going through your mind? Are you like panicking at this point or feeling at peace? What are you feeling?
I remember just thinking, just what happened? What's going on? I don't even think I knew what to be concerned about other than what's happening. And because the nurse didn't want to say anything to me, why didn't they bring him? And so the same chief of pediatrics comes in that morning.
Of course.
Yeah. As you can tell, it's a little, still a little sore about it.
Yeah.
But
And so what does he say?
and he said, well, do you remember yesterday when you had that concern? And I said, about Down syndrome? He said, well, yeah, we're doing some testing. Because one of the nurses brought it up and feels like he does have Down syndrome. And that's it. That's all he said. And I think my heart sank because I don't think I was prepared. I had already let go. I think the day before I felt like, I can take this on, whatever it is. I felt strong enough mentally. And I think at that moment, I completely just lost it. I had no family with me, nobody there, just myself. And I remember calling your dad and I couldn't breathe. I felt as though the wind was just completely knocked out of me. And I just started crying. And he got so worried because I couldn't even say the words. I was just crying and crying and crying. And I remember him saying, what is wrong? What's happening? What's happening? And it felt like eternity at that moment because I couldn't say the words. I even remember, I feel the poor lady next to me. She's like, are you okay? Are you okay? When he was born, I was okay. There was that initial feeling of okay, just tell me, let me know so I can face it, so I can handle what I need to handle. I don't know. I still, to this day, I don't know why that feeling of overwhelming feeling came about me. I just wanted him to be okay. And I just remember praying that day, saying, God, whatever it is you want from me, whatever he's intended to do, I'm here. Just make him well so I can take him home.
Yeah.
I remember that. And then days after that, immediately I found out that he had a hole in his heart. So they started doing more testing. And I think that's where more of that devastation started coming in. I just wanted him to be okay. I wanted to love him. I wanted to do all the things that I already, had planned to do with him. And it was going to be a different life. And at that moment I knew, but I didn't know.
Yeah. I think there's that added element too, right? Of you have this feeling of knowing okay, he has Down syndrome, I know in my heart. And then the quote unquote experts of the doctors no, you're wrong. And then it's okay, cool. This is life. Cool. Moving on. And then it's bam, left turn. And then even in that moment real quick, it's another quick left turn that is not prepared for he has a hole in his heart. And I know for me, that's when I understood and knew something was different about Zach, of him going through open heart surgery.
Oh, I didn't expect this. Sorry. I just need a minute.
Yeah, you're good.
You just took me back. You're really.
Take your time.
I don't think I've felt these emotions or. This is gonna be interesting. Thank you for diving in. Ooh.
Yeah, because I don't think you've ever really shared this with many people.
No.
At all.
No.
And so those raw emotions, raw feelings are coming out. And
yeah. Wow. Wow, what a way to dive in, though.
Yeah. Getting deep real quick.
It is. It is.
No, for sure. Yeah. Again, I think when I think about Zach and him being born, I remember you and Dad telling me like, "Oh, you're gonna have a baby brother. It's so exciting." I remember making this laundry list of all the things we're gonna do. We're gonna be playing baseball together. We're gonna be playing basketball. We're gonna be recreating all these WWE moves.
And you did.
And we did. And we did.
And you
Spoiler, we
did.
definitely did. Still do to this day. And again, I was just so excited because I always wanted to have a brother just to like do things with. And so this, again, me at like 6 years old, creating this list and creating this idea of all the things we're going to do. And I was so excited. And I just remember, right, then he was born. And obviously I didn't know any of what you're going through, any of the experiences with you and Dad and like the family. And I just remember like holding him for the first time and falling like completely in love. And again, my 6-year-old brain couldn't compute like what was happening of like, how do I love someone so much that like I barely learned his name like maybe like 5 seconds ago. I was like, how do I love him so much already? Was like the first initial thought. And then the second initial thought was like, make sure you don't drop this baby. You know, you love your brother, make sure you don't drop him. Because I've never held a baby before. And so there was this like love and excitement and also nervousness of like, how do I be like a brother? How do I become like a big brother? And I was ready to take it on and I was already so excited. And again, I had just like that complete joy.
Yeah. I think as a mom, you look forward to those first moments with your kids, like especially just knowing, you know, we had a brand new baby, couldn't wait to share him with you, couldn't wait to see you hold him and have those like first reactions and moments, and that's something that a parent looks forward to. And there's just so much going on our end, but I clearly remember that moment, and it was an anticipated moment, just like everything else, you know, that you go through when you're expecting a newborn. And you did. You held him, and that look on your face. And
yeah, I always tell people, right, I didn't look at him and be like, oh, he has Down syndrome. Like,
Yeah,
I didn't know anything like that or of that nature. All I felt was just like love for a brother, like just a pure, raw, unconditional love for a brother. And for me, I think when I think about that moment of like, when was it that I knew Zach was different? And that initial moment came knowing when he was about to have open heart surgery for me. And so like a question for you, like what was that process like for you knowing that Zach's going to have open heart surgery?
I think for me, I know that I'm sort of like good under pressure, always have been. I don't think I ever paused enough to allow myself to feel what was going on during that time, because I really had to take care of, you know, the logistics of everything.
You're in survival mode.
I am.
You were in survival mode. You know, it's hey, Zachary has a hole in his heart. And then I could only imagine you go into a place of like, okay, how will we make sure he's going to be a healthy baby moving forward?
Yeah, just feeling that I had to be, you know, as we say, on our A game, or aware of everything that's going on, making sure that I'm moving forward to help him get the best doctors, educate myself, you know, become that scientific parent that just wants to know everything. Am I making the right decisions? Am I choosing the right physician? What are the things that I need to prepare for before and after? So many questions that unless you have someone there with you, you have to search, you have to advocate, you know, advocating for yourself, for your child. It takes a lot. It takes a lot of, you know, it's not just a desire, but you know, I don't take for granted that accidents happen, you know, the unfortunate happens. I wanted to make sure that I was well prepared enough, that I was asking all the questions and make sure that, you know, like I said, Zachary had the best. I wasn't going to settle. So I needed to make sure. And you know me, usually I go into like real...
You go into deep research.
I do.
You are an FBI agent, deep research. I didn't know like this type of research existed. I was like kudos, right? Like it's
I do.
It's amazing.
And so Zachary was, very, very pale for the first 6 months. He had open heart surgery at 6 months. So most often his body just almost looked a little lifeless, for the obvious reasons. And for 6 months, he was just little. He's about, I don't think he gained more than about right under 12 pounds.
Yeah, you always told me you could fit like in a really small shoebox.
I don't know about shoebox, but
That's what I was told.
that must have been your dad, but no, it wasn't a shoebox. But he was in just tiny, just small. I think he looked like a newborn for a couple of months, and like I said, he was right under 12 pounds when he had open heart surgery. And I was just taking pictures of him, like his last bath before, his last meal before, changing him in outfits. I think at that point, I was also going through like a denial stage because being faced with, again, the unknowns, the what ifs, praying that everything would be fine, but still, the human side of me just didn't want to think of the worst, didn't want to have to confront what could have been possible. And I remember just taking all those photos because he was already just not eating as much. I remember thinking I have to stop feeding him at a certain time before we go in. And that was heartbreaking for me because he was crying because he wanted to eat. Yeah. And I remember going into the hospital, and I guess they were already prepared and waiting, and I got there a little late because I was in a state of denial. I know I was when I look back. And all that transpired after that was just one difficult moment after another. I didn't want to let go. I didn't, they went through everything they had to go through to make sure to weight him. I mean, just remember the details. I'm just like reliving it again, but
yeah, like those details are forever engraved in your mind, right? I think I remember for me, I remember that too. Maybe not as vivid as you, but it's very engraved in my mind of going to the hospital, seeing everyone so concerned.
Yeah.
But like, again, no one's saying much to a 6-year-old, like in this situation, right? All they know is like, oh, my brother needs to get something fixed, needs his heart fixed. It's kind of the conversation. And I just remember feeling so nervous, so scared of the unknown.
Right.
Because I didn't know what to feel, what to think. All I could see was very concerned faces from obviously you and Dad and family members. And that's all I remember. And then that image, going to see Zachary before he's going into surgery, tubes all over his body to help him breathe, to give anesthesia. Like, again, I don't even know what those like tubes were for, right? But it felt like a million tubes, like just all through his body. And I was just like, wow. Like, it was just I don't know if I cried. I don't remember like crying, but I remember like crying internally.
Yeah.
And I remember like feeling that level of just like looking up at God and being like, hey, but healed pal, like, can you make sure like my brother, the one that you barely gave me in this world, the one that I love so much already, can you kind of make sure like he survives this and he lives a good life with us? Yeah. And those are just like those things that are engraved. Again, I don't remember the weighing or any other situation. I just remember that feeling. And I remember those faces. And remember his face and body looking completely lifeless.
I think from a mother's perspective, you don't want to create too much concern, right? You don't have a how-to pamphlet, right? In this situation, how do I talk to my son about his brother going to heart surgery and not knowing what's going to happen? And there could be an element of just who knows, right? Like, how do you talk to your 6-year-old son when you've always been so full of love and you always wanted to, partake and be part of as you do now. But, I felt like just enough to not keep you in the dark, right? Because I didn't want to do that. I wanted you to have a moment to understand or try to understand, like, this is what we're going to do. We're taking him in to heal him, to help him heal so that he can grow. And yeah, I mean, I remember, as you say, having friends and family part of the support there that day. And they were all just waiting for news, as we all were together. Yeah. But grateful for all of that. I really, really was. I didn't know, the immense of love and support that was going to shower us that day. Yeah.
And so again, spoiler for all of you, right? It was a successful surgery, and he gets heart checkups every year and no issues, right? No concerns with his heart, which is, I know we talk about it a lot, of like the biggest blessing we could ever hope and dream of, because he's able to share his heart with the world now.
Right. Literally,
figuratively, he's able to share it with the world.
Yeah.
And so after that heart surgery, and it was a success, and the doctors were like, okay, yeah, everything went well according to plan. What were your hopes and dreams for him after that?
I think initially there isn't this moment of, okay, I'm going to sit down and think about his hopes and dreams. As a mom, I don't know if I was writing or thinking about these big hopes and dreams. I was sort of just going through it, playing it day by day. I was allowing us all to try to figure things out, because I didn't. And I think I'm very much a big problem solver, right? I'm constantly just trying to problem solve the next situation, or how we're going to do the next, whatever it would be. I didn't have any solutions. And the only solution at that moment I felt was just to have faith that things would just fall into place, because there's such an unknown space. I found myself realizing the medical care that he needed. And not only that, but also being a mom to you, right? You were active. We were always active as a family. So a lot of those situations for me, I had to figure out how to balance that, how to allow, still have a typical maybe lifestyle for you while attending to someone who really needed a lot of medical care. So about the hopes and dreams at a later date, as we started seeing him just more vibrant. Before surgery, he was so pale, and all of a sudden he had this beautiful pink color to his skin. His eyes just had so much life. And it was completely day and night, absolutely day and night to see that. And when I started seeing, his personality just shine, as you see now, right? He's just so full of life.
He is.
I got to a place and a point of telling myself, I just want him to reach his full potential. Whatever that may be. Yeah, yes, whatever that may be. To guide him, to be present with him, and figure out what his place in this world is. And it wasn't anything specific. It really wasn't, because we had moments that just felt like making a lot of progress. And then there was, years where it didn't feel like much. And he taught me a lot about patience.
Just taking it day by day.
Yeah.
It sounded like too, right? There's a level of, obviously you were in survival mode at that beginning of, hey, let's make sure his heart gets fixed right
Right.
away. Like that's that survival mode. But as like he started having like more life to him and like the medical kind of went away, that's where it's like, let's just help him reach his full potential, whatever that may be.
Right.
Because I think often as a society, we put either limitations on children or these like super high expectations without actually knowing the child themselves. And in order to have someone reach their full potential, it's very individualistic based. And you can't get into the comparison game and you can't get into this, oh, I see this child do this. Why can't my child do
Right.
this?
As we do as parents.
Yeah.
It's such a,
It's hard to break that cycle.
it is. Society just like really puts you in, you do the comparisons. I think seeing Zachary realizing that everything was going to be at his pace,
Yep.
not mine, not
As it should.
society. Yeah.
As it should. And I think that's where you see him growing so much because I would say us as a family, right? Like try to cultivate that. Obviously, you're the leader in that regards. And I try to do my part as a brother, but you see that cultivating in him every day. It's at his pace. It's at his wants, his desires for professionally, personally. And how can we just like help him achieve those goals in a healthy way, in a loving way. And when you do that, I always say sky's the limit, right? It's a common phrase I always say, like when you do that, the world's your oyster, and you think of all these cliche sayings
That's true.
that become true for him.
That's true.
And
I
for
think
everyone.
even for ourselves, we put so many limits on ourselves that we don't get to see someone else's full potential because we think we can't achieve or we can't do. Therefore, my son or daughter may or may not, right? But when you feel at least at the very basic and say, I don't know much about this. I don't know how to achieve this, but let's figure it out. Let's at least try. Let's take that first step. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, right? You try something new, try something different, and I just always felt allowing him to lead me. And of course, without a doubt, there's things that as a parent, you want them to achieve.
Of course.
That is, but also just thinking back how long it took Zachary to even walk, right? You put those little steps of like, okay, how do you strengthen him, right? How do you make sure he's getting the physical therapy he needs, right? Because there's all these elements that you're not familiar with, whether it's technical or medical. You don't understand until you start comprehending, okay, this is how we're going to help him. This is how we're going to help him achieve the next level for him. Mm-hmm. And things that we take for granted, like walking.
Exactly. Yeah. And again, those baby steps can lead to great outcomes. And that's what's beautiful. There we go. Those are your cards, sir.
Okay.
And Mama Valentine, these are your cards. All right. So, Mr. Zachary Valentine, the game that we are playing today is called Who is More Likely to? Family Edition.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, right? I think that is a very wow moment.
Here we go.
So, for example, right? If I ask, who is more likely to wear Crocs? So, is it Zachary, Patrick, or Mom?
And me.
I say
it's Zachary. What's your answer?
Oh, no.
Oh, no. What's your answer?
It's just the name right here. There's
That's
nothing
all.
in there. It's just the name. You hold it up. Say Zachary.
Lucky.
I think Zachary. For sure. Always wearing Crocs.
Yeah.
So that's how we play the game. You
Yeah,
ready to
okay.
do this?
You're doing.
Okay, let's do this. Okay. So I got a couple questions for us
What?
for the Valentines. Question. Who is most likely to be able to keep a secret?
What the hell?
Yeah, yo, listen. If you choose yourself, you are not keeping any secret. I'm gonna say Mom. I'm gonna say Mom for sure. You tell Mom a secret, it's like a vault.
Nice.
What's your answer? What's your answer?
Mom.
Mom too? Okay, yeah.
Okay,
It's like a
okay.
vote. Zach, you tell him a secret?
No.
Everyone knows within
No.
seconds.
Even the neighbors.
Yeah, look, can I tell you a secret?
Yeah.
Okay, look, you can't tell anyone though.
Okay.
Okay? You're not telling anyone.
Oh, yeah.
We have a podcast.
What?
Don't tell anyone, okay? Keep it a secret. Shh. Shh. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Don't tell anyone. You're gonna tell everyone, aren't you?
Don't have to have it.
That's okay. That's okay, you know. Some secrets aren't meant to be kept. Okay, you ready? Who is most likely to stay up all night playing video games?
You actually, man.
Yeah, that is me, man. That is a fair point. That is me. Patrick, I really love video games. What can I say?
For
I
sure.
play a little bit of Fortnite, you know, a little Call of Duty. Me and Zach play Mario Kart. We out here, you know, just living a good life. We like to switch games a lot, Mario games. What's your favorite Mario game?
I don't know.
You know you play it all the time. What's your favorite Switch game?
I don't know, Patrick is in the new house cards.
Listen, I didn't ask if you beat me all the time playing games. I asked what's your favorite. We don't have to dive deep into how I lose all the time, okay? Listen, we don't have to have that conversation.
Patrick, what's you?
You got a question?
You, Patrick, you.
Okay, let me hear your question. Tell me your question.
Patrick, no, that kid about me.
I am not lonely, sir.
Well, he's definitely not lonely.
But thank you for saying that I am lonely.
Yeah.
Why you gotta come at my life like that?
It's shitty.
You're kidding?
Okay.
Let's just make jokes about Patrick today. Okay, you ready for the next question though?
Yes, me.
Okay, ready? Okay. Who is most likely to run a marathon?
Dove.
Yeah, I know. We're all kind of allergic to running. Let's be real. I hate running.
Not.
Do you like running?
Stop.
Okay.
He is pretty fast, though.
He is pretty fast.
He is
but
pretty fast.
Marathon's 26 miles.
Yeah.
You know, I will.
I just don't think anyone in this family. But,
What the hell, man?
but if I had to pick, if I had to choose,
Dude.
I'm going to say Patrick.
I'm gonna say Zachary. What's your answer? What do you say?
Patrick.
Okay, so look, I feel like I have to explain this one, right?
Sorry.
In the right situation, if there's pizza at the end of the race, I think Zach's running to it. Granted, he may be cheating. He may get on someone's back. He may hop in the
Patrick,
car.
Patsy.
A spicy, yeah. Yeah, me? Yeah,
You know,
the only
I
thing
say
I'm-
Patrick because Patrick has always been really athletic.
Oh, no.
kind of just accept it, you know?
God.
Okay, ready for the next question?
Yeah.
Okay. Who is most likely? All right. Who cries the most?
Mom.
Well, today, yes. No, I don't think so. No, wait. I'll change my mind on that one.
No, say mom.
Yeah, we gotta say mom.
No, I say Patrick.
I say mom.
I
You
say
say mom.
Patrick.
Okay.
Who's right?
You know
mom
what?
Or Patrick?
Lately,
Patrick
really.
and mom.
Patrick and
No,
Mo.
I
What about
say
Zachary?
lately. It's really Zachary and Patrick.
Oh, listen.
Okay, me.
I feel like you're easily convinced at this point right now.
I say Patrick and Zachary. You guys are kind of twins there.
Listen, if you show me like a troop coming home, an emotional video, any rom-com movie, I am crying.
No.
I am crying. I ain't gonna lie. It gets me every time. On the daily,
Yeah. He cries for the girls.
yeah, he does.
What the hell? What do you?
No, for sure. You know, again, we all have our
You
moments.
got me, man.
So we're human. We got emotions. And that's okay. Okay, you ready for the next question?
Yeah.
Who is most likely to laugh during a serious moment?
Patrick.
Yeah, I am.
Oh, yeah.
I am.
So is Zachary.
No.
It's kind of both. Okay.
It is.
Let's be real. A serious moment, it just calls for laughter sometimes.
No, that's why it's called a serious moment.
All right. Who is most likely to eat pizza for breakfast?
Oh, no.
Pizza for breakfast, man. Think about this.
No.
It's Zachary. It's
yeah.
Zachary. It's Zachary.
Jaden!
Pizza is your favorite food. You will eat that for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Am I incorrect in that statement?
Stop!
Caught you in 4K.
Cheese.
Chuck E. Cheese?
No.
What, trick or treat?
Yeah.
I mean, it is October. Are we going trick or treating this year?
Yeah.
Yeah? You want to do it?
Yeah.
We could talk about trick or treating later, but
No challenge.
it's a challenge?
Yeah.
It is a challenge because you be running fast. Okay, you ready for the next one?
No, say it with me.
Say the words, tell me.
Oh my goodness, Patrick. Serious.
Are you serious? Okay. We have...
No, don't do it.
Okay, no more questions? Yeah.
Boss.
Okay, tell me. You tell me first.
Oh my goodness, it's serious.
Oh my goodness, are you serious?
I
I like that.
Don't do that, dude.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Okay. All right, you ready for the next part?
Yeah.
Okay. The last question.
He already has an answer.
Who is most likely?
Oh, pig.
Pink? Okay. All right. I mean, if that's your answer, who is most likely to run for president?
Mommy.
I feel like Mom wouldn't want that responsibility.
No.
I don't want that responsibility.
I think it's Zachary.
He wants all the attention.
I vote for Zachary.
No, that mom.
Okay. He doesn't want the responsibility. We're going Mom.
I still say Zachary.
No, that one.
I think you just make this
No,
world a
that
better
one,
place.
pig.
Okay. Zachary.
No, pig. Cheating.
You're cheating.
I'm cheating?
He doesn't want that attention.
Neither do I.
Mom.
Oh.
Mommy, big
Yes.
question to you.
You
What's
have
your
a question.
question?
What's your question?
Happy birthday, Zachary. I love you, Mom. Happy birthday, you too. That's what I want. I really coming. Birthday, Abba.
He's already planning his best birthday ever in
You're
August.
welcome. He's already thanking me. You're welcome ahead of time.
I want you to know it's October and August is pretty far away.
No birthday, me.
Okay, we'll celebrate your birthday. Mr. Zachary Valentine, what Crocs are you wearing today?
Bro, you cross.
Blue Crocs. Okay. You know, I will say I love the blue. The blue, white, blue.
Dirty.
Yeah, it is kind of dirty. I do kind of see it on the
What the
bottom.
heck, man?
Yeah, I don't know. We kind of maybe forgot to clean them. But those are Crocs you wear kind of on the daily now.
These are his favorite.
Yeah.
These are, they have the little fuzzy inside.
Oh, they do? They got
And-
fuzzies?
Yeah.
Are they comfortable? Is the fuzzy really comfortable for you?
Yeah.
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 So what makes it your favorite Croc?
I see.
Okay, let's see. Go ahead. Show the camera. Okay. Yeah. Oh,
Your
makes you feel like
Crocs?
you're dancing?
Your dancing Crocs?
Dirty.
Oh, you trying to get the rug dirty?
Yeah.
Okay, listen. We're...
Awesome.
You do have an awesome haircut, too.
Yeah.
You did wear those Crocs for your haircut. I think that is pretty awesome.
With me goes.
With the girls?
And.
Oh, Talia, yeah. You had a girl cut your hair at the barbershop.
It looks
He
good.
fell in love.
I love it.
All right, let's talk about the golden moments.
Yeah. This episode really brought back a lot of memories.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have to say that I have two again. One of the golden moments, just realizing what I talked about last episode, is when you choose love, right? And knowing how much love we had from our family and our friends during those very first initial difficult times, those challenges, that was a golden moment for me. Just reliving that. It's important sometimes to remember. And I felt the love that day, and I felt it again today, knowing that just even watching you, as a 6-year-old and trying to navigate through that and realizing that family and friends were there for us.
Yeah.
So that is my golden moment.
Yeah. No, I think mine is very similar. in reflecting on our conversation today with us and then with Zachary, to be loved as much as like I am by like you two is a golden moment in itself. And to love people as much as like I do with like you guys is just a golden moment, you know, in reflecting like on all the challenges. Yes, there's like hard times, and obviously the birth story and his open heart surgery was very traumatic in a lot of ways, but reflecting and seeing where we are now and seeing just how much love we have around us is just a blessing, and is the biggest golden moment I could ever ask for.
Oh, I agree. And then I think also when I think about the relationship and how far the relationship has evolved between you and Zachary, as a mom sitting here watching that banter is a golden moment.
Yeah.
Because I think without that, you wouldn't have the Valentine brothers, you know? And that was a moment. He just absolutely loves and thrives off of those bantering moments. And again, you know, just the love between you. And I just, as a mom, I just appreciate that. So yeah, that is my another big golden moment for me.
Yeah, it just sounds like we're so grateful for so much. And
we are.
I think continue to just be grateful and like count our blessings, and all of it is how we continue to move forward together as a family.
Yeah, I'm very proud. I'm very thankful too.
Thank you all for watching Love Out of Chaos with the Valentines. I'm Patrick.
Lucky Valentine.
And I'm Linda, Mama Valentine.
Oh.
Make sure to leave a comment and any questions you may have for future episodes. We love y'all.
Pepper.
And the paper, and we hope you have a great day.
Have a good day.
It's a beautiful chaos.
Let it call us.
It is a beautiful chaos.